All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are live on the Royal We. We're going to get started right now. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes for people to get signed on here. Hope you guys are doing good tonight. There's a little bit of a delay time, so I'd like to just give it a couple minutes for some people to show up. If this is your first time on the Royal We Live, we are going to be having a discussion tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how long it takes. And as a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and give you an answer right now when we're talking about how long it takes to heal from narcissistic abuse. It takes as long as it needs to take. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. However long it takes, that's the title of this video. However long it takes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and type that in right now while I'm waiting for some people to sign on here. I see all you guys. Good evening. Hey, KK Bootsy, Jamie, how are you? Karina, how are you doing? It's good to see all you guys. Tanya Millette, God Ever Present, how are you? Maricela Harris, hello. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the title real quick to As Long as It Takes. As long as it takes, guys. That's what we're going to be talking about. Doot. All right, guys, if this is your first time live on the Royal We, thank you guys so much for being here. I want to go ahead and go through some of the good stuff here for you as we're waiting for people to sign on and say hello. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Thank you so much. The Royal We Live is an exclusively live show, taking real phone calls, real questions, real answers from a real community of real people who care. You guys are the Royal We. The Royal We Live is self-funded. It's for you, by you guys. And by the way, I want to give a shout out right now to all of the sponsors. The sponsors are those who are Patreon members tonight. I want to thank you to Agatha. If you're there, thank you for your pledge. Monique McPhee, thank you for your Patreon pledge. Arthur Daniels, thank you for your pledge. Regina Alvarez, thank you for your pledge. Those are the newest pledges. And then also all of you who have already pledged to the Royal We Live, thank you so much. It's you that makes the Royal We Live possible. And so I want to thank you so much for that. Also, before we get into tonight's show, I want to introduce the mods, the mod squad. Taylor, thank you so much for being here. Taylor puts the dream in the hashtag dream teams. Be sure to show her a lot of love. Blue, thank you so much. Blue is here to link you up, and that's for sure. You will see Blue throwing all kinds of links for videos and not just the Royal We videos, but all kinds of videos, even psychological videos, and any support that she finds, because she is there to make sure that you're healing from narcissistic abuse. Also, Tanya gives the best virtual hugs on the internet, so be sure to go to Tanya for that virtual hug. D-Doll is the queen of the one-liners, and that's definitely a good thing. So give a big round of applause and a lot of love to the moderators. They're here for you, and do not hesitate to ask them any questions or look for any guidance from them. If this is your first time on the Royal We Live, the goal, you know what? I didn't put the pictures of the moderators up there, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I apologize, moderators. Should I go through it one more time? Taylor puts the dream in hashtag dream team. Blue is here to help link you up. Tanya gives the best virtual hugs on the internet. D-Doll, queen of the one-liners. There you go. I apologize that I did not have your photograph up there, but there is the Royal We mod squad. That is the Royal We right there. They're your connection, and they're there for you for whatever you need. All right, guys. Now, if this is your first time on the Royal We, please hit like, subscribe to the channel. This is the only channel where you're going to have the live stream. The bell notification will let you know when we go live, and also connect. There's a telephone number that's going to be present. Also, Blue will post the telephone number because she puts the links. She's there to link you up. And so the phone number will be floating around. Use the phone number to call in with your questions and to talk about your situation and what you're going through with narcissistic abuse. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to dive right in. There's the telephone number right there. And so you guys can jot it down, write it down. You're welcome to call in. I'm going to go through a little bit of tonight's topic which is about how long it takes. And the actual title of this live episode is going to be as long as it takes, as long as needed, as long as needed. Is that what I named it? And I have to double check on that. But there's something to that because this is actually inspired by a phone conversation that I had today. As a matter of fact, yes, as long as it takes is the title. I had a phone conversation. I still take phone calls throughout the days. And one of the questions that the was asked for me is, and it wasn't so much a question as it was a statement. And this is typical, and I get this a lot too. And the statement is, Kevin, I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of being I'm tired of this whole thing. I'm just tired of it. And I want to add to it that when you come out of narcissistic abuse or any type of a trauma, or if you're dealing with abusive people, family, in-laws, siblings, friends, you're going to feel, or even people who love you, who you're trying to talk to, outside of the royal we. You'll never hear this in the royal we because we understand. But outside of this, here's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear people say, you need to get over it. You need to move on. You need to just sweep it under the rug. You need to stop dwelling on it. You need to, blah, 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 blah. Get over it. And I get that, and I'm sure you get that too. Basically, what they're saying is, listen, we're tired of hearing it, and we want, you to just be happy, go lucky, carefree you, the you that you used to be. We want you to be the enabler that you used to always be. Here's my point to this, is nonsense. Ignore them, okay? You need to take however long it takes for your body to process this. You will know when the miracle happens, and you'll no longer need to find support, to want to talk about it, to want to think about it. But if you're in that, if you try to force it because you're afraid of what other people are saying, if you think people are telling you, well, you're dwelling on it, and watching videos is causing you to stay in it, and blah, blah, blah. If you're listening to all this stuff, what you're going to do is pretend that it's gone. You're going to sweep it all under the rug, and you run the risk of falling right back into enabling the same behavior again, but worse, because you learn that it's okay just to sweep it all under the rug and pretend that it's not real. The problem is that you know that narcissistic abuse is real. It's deep now, and we're getting deeper. The Royal We has just started. We're going to be getting real deep into a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, the video I'm working on right now is dealing with anger in the brain. We're going to be talking about the prefrontal cortex and the developmental differences between a normal, healthy individual and a narcissistic, psychopath, sociopath, antisocial person, or just a person who does drugs, a person who drinks too much alcohol, how this affects their brain. And yes, it creates a different entity, physical entity you're dealing with. Narcissists, whether, whatever, you can look at it one of three ways. It's a spiritual issue. You can look at it as it's an issue of the will. And you can also now, we're going to throw in there, it's a physiological issue. There's something wrong physically with the brain, the development. Doesn't matter how you want to look at it. You realize that this is the world you live in. This is what you're up against. It's not easy to just brush it under the rug and pretend like it's okay, pretend you're not upset about it, pretend that, people can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. You got to be okay with it. We're not about that. The Royal We's not about that. We want you to uphold your morals. In order to uphold your morals, you're going to have to be in a place where you are standoffish from that which is going to put you in a negative mindset. And it's not educating yourself that puts you in a negative mindset. It's not watching videos that puts you in a negative mindset. It's face-to-face confrontation with abusive narcissists who lack empathy, who lack the prefrontal cortex development to be able to have compassion or understanding. That is what gives you the negative energy. And so, yeah, you can you can try to sweep it all under the rug, but you run the risk of never quite learning how to assert your boundaries. Okay, so I say take as much time as needed. The Royal We is always going to be here. The Royal We community is always going to be here, and we're here for you as long as it takes. And if you find that it's difficult you can't go to your best friends or your parents or even your church or even your counselor, you can come here because this is what we're here for, right? So you will not be told here, just get over it, right? Because we know that that's not how it works. You don't just get over it. Let's take our first call from California. You're live on the Royal We. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Use all this like I'm not helping out and stuff like that to just create a horrible time with me trying to co-parent with our 2-year-old daughter over there.
Okay, so you're working on issues right now with co-parenting.
Yes.
Okay. The audio wasn't coming through on your end. So just to summarize what's going on, guys, to get you caught up, because I know that the audio of the caller wasn't coming through until now. But so the caller is going through a divorce and is dealing with co-parenting, which is a real issue, and it's rough. Okay, you're gonna have a rough time as far as the co-parenting goes, and in these situations, you can do everything to the T. You can meet all of their demands, and they're just going to want more. They're going to it's not going to be enough. Okay? Because when you decide to get rid of an abusive narcissist from your life, divorce, whatever, their goal is not just to separate. Their goal is to bury you. And it's very real a lot of the times. Their goal is to how can they get you out of the situation altogether. In their world, you're an enemy, you're bad, you know what I mean? You're because their perception is so twisted, right? There's no room for the children to love both you and them. They will forever be in a competition with you. And in most narcissist minds, there's not enough love to go around. Very sad thing. Very sad, unfortunate way to perceive the world. And so they will fight and demean you and devalue you behind your back just to get that love from the child, because they believe that there's not enough love to go around. They have to compete and win the child's love. Are you worried about that?
I know that that's what they're going to do, but I feel that the child will be tortured if I don't go and at least be part of her life so that she doesn't take all of the abuse herself, that
Right.
I can be a positive influence in her life and I can be strong. But I'm just thinking about ways of how to handle it. I already told my ex, like, hey, I don't even think co-parenting is possible. Can we just parallel parent and just work things out that way? And
I
I
haven't heard
really
of that
want to be
one.
a part of my daughter's life. Yeah,
I haven't heard of the parallel parenting.
yeah, just to have as little contact as possible, just to
Right.
only deal with the daughter, and just to let everything else,
And that's how
on
it
the
should
side,
be.
pretty much.
That's how it should be.
Hmm.
That's going to be the best way. Anything you can keep private, your personal life, do it. You'll be better off doing that, right? Allow in these situations. We always say this: allow the law to dictate. How the parallel parenting or co-parenting goes, right? It's not something that you want to work out with them, right? Hey, let's talk about this and let's work on this. That's a nightmare waiting to happen. So
No,
yeah, so you're
yeah,
better off just allowing the law to handle and then fulfill your end, so you don't get accused and ridiculed, and be blameless. Okay, essentially, and then hold them to their side of also being blameless, which means that if they're not coming through with their part of the deal, then take whatever action you have to take.
hmm yeah, I mean, it's just that we are both out of funds as far as fighting and everything, and we just want to wrap things up. But as far as what is to come, like, it just leaves me on edge. I feel like I'm going into unfamiliar territory, and that it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
it is. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, but
yeah,
we're here for you. Thank you for calling in. And
mhm,
you have a community of supporters here. There's people here who have probably been through similar situations, divorce, going through child custody battles. Can tell you what to expect better than I can. But I just know from experience of listening to people talk about it that it can be rough, it can be difficult, um, and you have to anticipate the mind games as part of it, right? Because again, the goal of a narcissist, an antisocial personality disorder, or psychopath, sociopath, bipolar, even whatever you want to label it as. The goal again is when you mess up, according to their perception, their goal is not just to separate from you. Their goal is to bury you, right? That's what they
yeah,
want. They feel like you are a threat to their existence, even when you're separated. It's real sad because again, there's not enough love to go around in their world. Very sad. It can get very crazy, gets very dangerous, gets very weird.
yeah. One more thing.
Yeah.
She had even offered several times to give me the child, but when I reacted to that, it was merely to have a longer conversation to kind of twist it into their point of view that I should give them the child, even though we had already signed and agreed for joint custody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's kind of like dangling a carrot, playing with my emotions and saying, of course,
Yeah.
I would take the child. You know,
Right.
yeah. So, hmm
All right. Well, thank you for calling.
yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night.
hmm Yeah. Take care.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Bye
telephone
bye.
line is back open, guys. I want to thank you so much to that caller. Anytime you dealing with co-parenting and divorces, it can be really rough. It can be really rough because, like I said, we all know that abusive narcissists they're not okay with just separating. As a matter of fact, sometimes separating is the most offensive thing that you can do, depending on the level of narcissist that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a psychopath, a sociopath, even a bipolar personality disorder, any link that you have to them, children, friends, siblings, they take on the goal of crushing you uh, through character assassination, through whatever means necessary, so that they can come out as this victorious person who conquered this horrible person, right? Because they believe in their mind that they believe that you are a horrible person. Why are you a horrible person? Because you don't go along with their plans. You don't give in to them. You don't cater to them. You don't acknowledge their superiority or their amazing, whatever it is they think they are, right? And rightfully so. You never should. That's not what this life is about. This life is not about worshiping and someone else, and it's ridiculous, right? And so since you don't do that, they look at you as a threat. Not only that, but you know information about them, personal information about them, and they're scared. Most narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, people with bipolar personality disorder, they truly are cowards. This is, in a way, why they don't allow you the opportunity to have real discussions with them as far as trying to work things out. Sometimes, being able to simply say, hey, let's talk about our feelings towards one another. Let's talk about this anger. Let's talk about the hatred. We don't need it. Um, they sometimes look at that, they're not able to do that. They're not able to have these types of discussions because they're in their cowardness. They would have to start to acknowledge and look at their flaws. They can't do that. It hurts too bad. They're too cowardly to look at their flaws in any relationship, right? And so this creates a huge problem, where most of you, and myself included, have no problem saying, hey, listen, I understand if I've said something that upset you, and I apologize, and but with abusive narcissists, they can't do that, not on a genuine level. And many of you, and myself included, have probably received an apology from a narcissist that went something like this. Um, I'm sorry you think I tried to hurt you, but you're just ignorant because I don't do that. So typically, narcissists will offer some lame, sugar covered shit apology, is what I call it. It's a left handed slap. Sorry, you think that I messed up. It's not I'm sorry I messed up. It's I'm sorry you think I messed up. Because in the narcissist mind, they don't mess up. Oh no, I know what I did. I called you names because that's right. I can do that because I'm better than you, right? That's the narcissist mindset. So it's I'm sorry you think they messed up. And then on top of that, it's you're just ignorant and so it's real rough dealing with these people. You cannot talk to them unless ever unless they're in this place where they acknowledge that they're not all that and they're really not. And they got to get over their cowardly need to hide their faults and their flaws, right? And the telephone line is open. You guys are welcome to call in. And again, the topic of tonight was about taking as much time as is needed. This is from a phone call that I had earlier today. The caller asked earlier, just said they're tired of it. People can sometimes tell you need to stop dwelling on it. And it's nonsense to think that way. Don't think of it in terms of you need to stop dwelling on it because that's going to make it worse. Because then you start to pretend that you don't have that you're not processing it. You start to pretend like it's okay. This starts to take gradual steps towards becoming an enabler, right? When you stop caring about how people are acting around you, you enable them to act however they want to act around you. And we got a call from Virginia. Hang on one second, caller. I'm going to finish my thought here. You don't want people to act however they think they can act around you. What if you have kids present? What if you have so-and-so present? You know what I mean? You want to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe and what you're responsible for safe. You don't need to put yourself in the presence of sick and twisted wickedness. You know what I mean? You don't need to do that. And so we're going to take a call from Virginia. You're live on the Royal We.
Hi, Royal We. It's Hummingbird.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Oh, gosh. I'm in no contact again. I'm just going to give you the update. But I just wanted to say hi to Blue and D-Doll and everybody out there in the community. Just, you are a truly support group for me. I appreciate y'all.
Yay.
So what's up?
Blue. D-Doll.
Kevin.
Tanya.
Yeah. Kevin, too.
Taylor and Kevin. Yes.
Everybody
right
in there. Yeah, so the latest is that I'm in no contact with the he's the same Buddhist guy. I just stopped it, and
right.
now I'm being hoovered. This was since last week. So I get a lot of calls and texts and, how are you doing? Just want to make sure you're safe. And I did not respond at all because I know it's a game to them.
Yes, it is.
Suck me back in.
Yes, it is.
In the toxic relationship. And they're going to be sweet as can be. And that's how you fall for it because we go by emotions, but we don't see the character. Anyway, I'm in no contact. And I'm in a place where I'm just really, again, spending time with me and not being in any kind of relationship, just working on me, bettering myself, and spreading the awareness because I find that when I talk to some of my best friends that they don't understand. They're like, oh, you'll get over it. Oh, he's just like that. Or I'm like, no, I'm trying to bring awareness that these people are really deranged mental people that medicine cannot cure, and they're out there in society and they're infiltrating people's lives and causing havoc and damage, and it's crazy.
Right.
And then they look at me like I'm the crazy. Well, not crazy, but they just think, oh, you're too into that.
Right.
I'm like, no, it's a real thing.
Like
I belong to a support group, the Royal We. You can hear all kinds of stories in there, and I'm not alone.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. It's a very scary culture that we're experiencing right now. You and I and all of us, we're all in this together, which is why more people should be on these live discussions, because we are in this culture where there's so much gray, right? And when you get to that much gray, you have morals, you have values. Then on the other side, you have none, right? You have good people and you have bad people, and there really is a polarized thing. But there's this push in today's world to get rid of polarization, right? It's like all part of some weird big plan in an evil way. And so what happens is then everything becomes gray. The more unpolarized. I mean, we all know what evil is, but look at it. Evil's becoming less evil, right? So
That's right.
you look at and I'm not going to get into it because of the politics of all that stuff, and that's not what the Royal We is about. But you have people who are, thing like sexual identification and stuff like this is rapidly changing. So there's barriers being broken down to where we're entering into this place where everything is one big mush pot. Everything is gray. There's no wrong and there's no right. Everybody is right.
That's right.
It's scary. But here's the scary part, because from this place, it will start to become polarized again, and we're already seeing this take place, except it's polarizing the opposite way. The Bible talks about this. It says, and it was prophetic. It says, what's wrong will become right. What's right will become wrong. What's black will become white. What's white will become black. This is what's taking place. We're entering into a phase in life and culture where the things that were considered morally wrong are going to become the cultural norm. And to speak against it, or to even say, I don't want to be a part of that, is going to become wrong, right? One of the guys I follow, his name is Jordan Peterson. Maybe some of you have heard of him. Great psychologist, and he's become a sensation because he was approached to try with legislature. Hope I said that right. Which was trying to make him use a certain pronoun to identify people. And he said, no, I'm not going to follow your law making me identify that group of people as this, because I don't agree with that. And he's started this huge thing, and good for him for standing up, because that's what's happening. We're going to enter into a place where we're told we have to view things differently. The whole moral code has changed. What was once considered wrong is now right, and we have to abide by that. And so it's important. The reason I talk about this is it's important to understand that I lost my train of thought. but with narcissistic abuse, it is important for us to understand that no, we need to be able to stay polarized as far as we know what's right. We know what's moral.
Yeah.
We know what's good. We know what's true. You know what a healthy relationship looks like. And you know what an abusive relationship looks like because you've been in it. And you need to be able to keep that polarized. Don't allow yourself to ever start to get to this place where where you fall into what your parents and your friends are telling you, saying, oh, it's just them. It's just their personality. Just go with it. Oh, they're just hot-headed. Yeah, they're just hot-headed. That's okay. That's okay. Just let them be hot-headed. Yeah, let them be hot-headed until you get further down a relationship and they take a glass bottle upside your head. You know what I mean? Because this is real. This is life.
It's very real.
And
I tell you,
it's been real. And you cannot just pass this stuff off.
That's right. And the reason why I have decided to go all the way, no contact, wholeheartedly, 100%, do or die, is because when I had spent time with this narcissist guy, there was a disagreement, and on the way home, my love language is touch, and I was trying to console him and say, it's okay, calm down. And he abruptly, I think we're going like 40 miles an hour, abruptly slammed on the brakes, and it could have caused a car accident because thankfully there were no cars in front of us or behind us. But these people, again, they have no conscience.
Right.
They don't care. They don't think like we think. We're normal. They're not. And there's you're right. There's something about the brain. They don't have that empathy that makes them human. So hello, they're not human. And I'm going to go a little step further because I've been really, really delving into this, what makes a narcissist. But this guy mentioned he was a B negative. And, for the believers out there, I don't know if you know about Rh negative, the blood types, and the Nephilim and stuff like that. And basically, in a nutshell, we're dealing with demonic entities, evil.
Right.
And their sole purpose is to rob, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes out of it.
Right.
These are the deceptors.
Absolutely.
They're going to lure us in with their charm. Just mind you, they're going to be attractive and charming, and they're not going to be like in a, outfit like a pitchfork and horns and all that. They're going to be charming.
And here's the real catch. Here's the real catch about this whole thing. Yes, they're going to be charming. They're going to be all this stuff. But here's the real catch. They hate you from the get-go. They hate you.
That's so true.
They hate you from the get-go. Listen, a lot of you are thinking, well, the narcissist love bombed me. And they really, no. They hated you from the get-go. It was never about love. And narcissists, and it doesn't, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to rattle a lot of you, but this speaks for, there's parents out there that are like this.
They're soul destroyers.
Siblings. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yes, parents have kids, and they hate them from the get-go. They can pretend. They can pretend as long as they want that they love their kids and this and that, but they don't. They despise them. They hate them. They look at them as as something that is ruining the fun. Yeah, something that is ruining the fun that they could be having. A holdback, a drawback. We know that this is true. We know that there's parents that look at kids like this, and the kids are tortured and tormented as a result. Abusive narcissists, bipolar, some bipolars, psychopaths, sociopaths, cluster B, histrionic, whatever you want to call it. I put it all under the narcissistic umbrella. You have to understand that from the get-go, they hated you. They hate your light. They hate your joy. They hate your love. They hate your peace. If they
hate that we represent God.
They hate the God in you, and I've heard this time and time again. And a lot of times, for you who are Christians, a lot of times people will remind you of that. They're saying it's not you. They hate the God in you. Well, they hate you. They do. That's the whole thing. Yes, they hate God in you, so therefore they hate you. But that hate exists before you even get involved with them. So them getting involved in them is nothing but a conquering spree. It's nothing but I'm going to use this person because I hate him so much. Right? And so you really have to watch out for that. And you've got to be on your guard. You have to be able to see who's genuinely trying to form a relationship and who's trying to get to use you as soon as possible because they could be doing it out of spite and out of hate. Right? And it's very real.
One thing this experience has taught me is to guard my heart because, like, we're empathic and compassionate people and loving. Everyone here is loving. They've got a genuine heart for good. And I think the lesson here is boundary setting. Like, don't compromise.
No.
You know right from wrong, but don't compromise.
Yes.
And to the believers out there, I'm going to address, it is a spiritual battle, and that is why we cannot battle, we cannot cure, we cannot help these people. You will find if you continue, it's just going to be a cycle of the idealization, what is that second part? Not the discard, but the second part, it's like a wheel, but there's the phases of they put you on a pedestal, then they're going to devalue and then discard. And it's like a hamster on a wheel that's just going nowhere. But you have to realize the power lies within you to get out of it. It's not the narcissist that has the power, because it's likened to the Wizard of Oz. You know how the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy and the Tin Man and all of that, we're going to see the wizard, and they were fearful. Like, oh, this guy has such great power, but they don't realize that behind the curtain was this little midget.
Right.
That the power resided in them all along. So it's similar to us. Like, we have the power to walk away from this abuse.
Yeah.
We don't know it because we're so focused on trying to figure things out. Why are they doing this? Oh, if I try harder, this will happen. But you will have your wheels spinning. It's going to drive you. It's going to consume a lot of your thoughts. But then realize instead of consuming your thoughts, you can use that energy or that power into something productive and work on you. Like, what will I allow in my life? What will I not allow in my life? It's boundary setting. It's knowing who you are. More importantly, whose you are.
Yeah.
We are the royal we. So we serve the King of Kings.
Amen.
So that makes us royalty. You are a prince and you are a princess. So we don't need to settle for these paupers. Hello and bye, Felicia. You know, it's like leave these people alone. They are there to destroy our souls.
Right.
Mine tried to, step on his brakes in the car and like cause an accident.
Oh yeah.
So
everybody experiences that. Some people.
Who knows?
Oh yeah. They can start throwing stuff at you. And then again they just pass it off. If they hurt you real bad, oh well, it was an accident.
Evil knows
if
no
they
bounds.
don't, evil knows no bounds. That's right. I want to answer a question here that I see on the screen real quick from Monique McPhee, and I saw someone else also confused by this. Monique, well, I'm totally confused. Why choose someone you hate from the get-go? Right? That's the question. So here's the deal: when you deal with narcissists, and you know this for any length of time that you're with them, narcissists hate the world in general. They hate people in general. They live to consume other people's identities. This is why they mirror.
Right.
They look at somebody who has attributes that they want, that they can pick up, that they can absorb, that they can start to become like. They're not doing things and mimicking you and getting into the things that you like and stuff like that. And because they're really interested. It's because they want to learn. They want to get that stuff from you. But it's not love. And then the other part of that is they want to use you for just because they hate, just because narcissists hate doesn't mean they want to be alone. So you ask the question, I'm totally confused. Why would they choose someone they know they hate? So imagine somebody who hates everybody, but at the same time needs people, needs tools, needs resources to survive. So you become prey. And this is the whole thing of narcissists, how narcissists hunt like wolves. They're like wolves in sheep's clothing, and they're looking for prey, right? It's a survival. That's all it is. So it has nothing to do with love. It's hate because ultimately they want to devour you, right?
That's right.
So
we're like their oxygen. They need us
to
survive because they have no identity. They have no souls. They want to mimic our emotions and copy us because they're hollow.
Right.
Again, it's a spiritual.
And
I don't want to get
into it,
but it's a spiritual battle.
And when they're done with you, that's it. They try to destroy you again because of hatred. It's obviously not because they love you, right? We know this, right?
No.
A lot of us are thrown off. Where did this hate come from? Where did this hate come from? And this is where a lot of us get stuck with abusive narcissists. We keep trying to go back because we're like, oh, I can see the good in there. There's good in that person. No, there's hate in that person. And then what's worse is you think it was you that caused that hate. So when you ask questions like, well, I'm totally confused. Why choose someone you hate from the get-go? Be careful not to fall into this trap of thinking, well, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. No, you didn't do anything wrong. They hated you from the get-go. But in the beginning, you were something available to be used. Narcissists they're on the prowl. People ask all the time, why do I attract narcissists? Why do I attract people? No, here's what's happening. You have people who don't have genuine love for other people on the hunt, on the prowl for where they can get their next blowjob, where they can get their next good time, where they can get their next whatever they want to get. And when you make yourself available to that, you're saying, okay, here I am. And you're experiencing somebody who's full of hate from the get-go using you. That's why we say these people, narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, they hate from the get-go. A lot of them, are
they're very self-loathing.
They're self-loathing.
They really hate themselves.
They're so broken. They're so broken from their life that they can't have that genuine love. They can talk about it. Yeah. They can recite it.
They can mimic it.
They can mimic it, but it's not genuine. What's really inside of them is pain, hurt, brokenness, and hatred. hatred of people, a hatred of anything that's good,
hatred of love,
hatred of
hatred of
love.
good.
Sure, I actually heard this.
Of God too.
I
God.
worked with a guy that I actually was good friends with years ago. He was a narcissist, and I was friends with him because I wasn't real close with them. Right? You'll notice with these, chances are you know a lot of them, and you get along with a lot of them because you're so distant from them. It's an occasional hi, how are you, but nothing close, right? And so this was a guy that I worked with years ago. Every now and then in passing, we'd say, hey, what's up? And I remember one time I walked up to him and I said, his name was Richard. I said, Rich, man, you figured that out real fast. That's you're real smart. Something to that extent. I was impressed by how he figured out this issue at work. And something snapped in him. And he said, you know what? He said, don't do that. I can't stand that. And he was really angry. And I didn't get it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's fine. I get it. And anyways, he said, no, you know what? He says, you know what throws me off about that? He says, my parents never said that. So when you say something like that, my parents never said anything like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It does. And he was kind of going down that route. I don't know why at that moment he felt like the need to spill that out, but he did. And anyways, I kept my distance still. We didn't, talk all that much, but it made sense. When these people have, and I'm not saying to be looking down on people who have different upbringings, because the reality is there's not everybody's like that. There's people who have had horrible upbringings but are the sweetest people. There are people who have gone through their families torn apart by war and they're still the sweetest people. So it's not just an issue of, well, their parents weren't there or blah blah blah. That's there's a lot of sweet loving people who come out of those families. What you're dealing with is these particular narcissistic individuals who have had the same rough upbringings as others, have either chosen or not chosen, or have a brain development issue or something that has caused them to have a lack of compassion, empathy, a lack of genuine love. And so we get into that they meet people and they use people out of need only. So you become a necessity only. And when you start to fail,
like an object.
Yeah, you're objectified, and when you fail to meet the needs is that based on what they need from the object, then they'll punish you.
They'll discard you like
they'll
a
discard
piece of tissue or trash.
And so it's
and then
easy.
You're left
yeah.
hurting. Yeah.
Well, I typically say that a true discard comes from you. No one discards you. Most narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, they will use you any way, shape, or form they can ever get their hands on you. But what happens is you discard them, and they ultimately have no choice. And so obviously they're going to make it seem like they're discarding you, but you discard them. And you, Hummingbird, are in the situation right now. You have this guy. He's continuing to call you. He's hoovering. How are you? Hey, thinking. But you've already been in the circus for long enough. You already know exactly what he wants. You know he wants to use you. You know that he does not love you. You know that, in all honesty, he probably has hatred for you. But nonetheless, you can be a tool that he can use for his own selfish survival, whatever, right? And so,
but you know how to kill the narc? You discard them. You don't give them any power. You move on with your life and be happy.
Yeah.
And get the love that you deserve, and it starts with loving yourself first. That's how you take away their power. That's what I'm realizing, that the power has always been within me. Because all the time I was wondering, like, sometimes you wonder, am I not good enough? Like, I'm not ugly or anything. I'm attractive. I'm smart. It's like, what is it? Why is he angry? But the more I studied it and learned from the Royal We and different channels, that there is nothing that's going to make these narcissists complete or happy or satisfied, because they're self-loathing, they hate, and they hate you. So again, the power is in you to leave,
Yeah.
Love yourself. Get out.
Get out. And if you want to know the difference, between the abusive narcissists and and this is going to be part of the anger video coming out, but the biggest difference, if you want to know, because a lot of people wonder, am I the narcissist? Am I the sociopath? Am I the psychopath? Listen, if you're just trying to get away, if you're, and I saw Monique ask this too, if you're just trying to get away, or if you're just being quiet, if you're being reserved, you're not the narcissist. You're processing, you're hurting, you're dealing with trauma. That's not being a narcissist. If you wonder who the narcissist is, it's the one who is throwing out the slander, the abuse, the name calling, the cussing, picking things up, throwing things, the ones that lying, storytelling, gossiping, the ones who are intentionally trying to drive harm. Trying to drive harm your way. These are the ones that lack the empathy. These are the ones that are psychopaths. These are the antisocial. These are the sociopaths who will cause and inflict pain without thinking about it because they're not capable of thinking about it.
They have no conscience or empathy.
And it goes all the way level.
They're not human.
They're not. I mean, you even get into people and just watch. There's videos on YouTube, Crime Watch Daily. I watch too much of that stuff, and it's scary. These people are out there running around, getting involved, and then they kill the person. And to watch them in the courtroom and in the process afterwards, innocent. They seem innocent. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do that. I didn't do. They know you did it. You were there. You did it. I didn't do anything wrong. And the Jodi Arias, that was a big one.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up.
Man,
and
that girl
seem to have like
that girl was something
or many
else.
Personalities.
That girl was something else, man. She outright went into that rage, did that thing, got rid of that guy, and then went into I have no idea what anybody's talking about. I didn't do anything wrong. No remorse.
Right.
No care. This is what we're talking about.
Pretty and
so so that's on the upper, the highest level right there when you get into that type of narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic.
They're dangerous.
Evil.
Nothing
right?
good can come out of it by being in the relationship. Nothing.
But here's the thing, even under that, when you get into the same things, it's like the name calling. A lot of people will say, well, man, I didn't experience that. I wasn't that physical. But listen, a lot of these abusive narcissists have that intention in their heart. I know that the girl, the sibling that I dealt with, the in-law, I felt the hatred through the name calling. It may not have been a physical attack, and I'm bigger, and I could probably hold my own. I'm not worried about that. But that hatred was still in the heart. The name calling, the assault. There's a reason they call it character assassination. Because it's the same thing. It's an attempt to assassinate, to kill, because they don't have the empathy or the compassion to do that.
Yeah, that's true. What I read was that hatred and that intimidation that they try to do to scare you really lies a vulnerable, scared little child. But they have to just present themselves as if they're invincible and, just strong. Because there are times I stood up to him and I gave him it was like tit for tat. Okay, you're going to meet me here, I'm going to meet you right back. And he kind of backed down like, whoa, where did that come from? Right. They don't expect you to retaliate. I'm not recommending that you do because, again, these people are dangerous.
Yes, they are.
Just, be safe and get out.
That's the best thing you can do. A lot of times people, and I get this question too, how can I take revenge on the narcissist? Listen, the best revenge you can take is to disappear.
Living well.
Right? Because live well and disappear.
Live well.
Get away from them. If you successfully just get out of the relationship and get out of their psychological pool, you've won. Even if that means
because it's a game for them.
Yes, even if that means you make them feel like they won. Oh, got me. You assassinated my character. Oh, you told all your friends and parents I'm a horrible person. Oh, no, my life is over. I guess I'm going to move to another state and start a new life. Sorry. Okay. And move on and do it. That's the best revenge, because if you're not there, that takes away
their power.
That takes away that power over that situation, right? So a lot of people are, and I want to make an organic video talking about that because I get that question. Should I get back involved with the narcissist just so I can exact my revenge? Why play that game?
No.
They dig that. They're like, bring it,
And some people say karma has an address, But to those out there, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, because these people, they live a destructive path of broken relationships. So time is a great revealer of things, and what you give out comes back to you like a boomerang. So these narcissists will get what's due to them. So your best revenge is just going forward with your life and living well. Be happy. Work on you.
Yeah.
Love will find you when you love
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Hummingbird,
So,
thank you so much for
thank
being
you.
here. I think we've taken up a lot
Thank
of
you,
time here.
everyone.
I know
I know I gotta go.
there's other
All
callers that
right.
would like to get in. Thank you.
Okay.
All
God
righty.
bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Telephone line is back open. I apologize for that. We get off on our rants here on the Royal We and talk, but hopefully in that discussion there was some good information for some of you, and you guys were able to take some good bits of pieces of things to think about and to consider when dealing with the abusive narcissist that you have been dealing with. And I appreciate your questions, Monique. Thank you. Your questions. I love that everybody's posting questions on there as well. Sociopath is made, psychopath is born. So you do have a choice. That's a difficult question to answer. But as far as you or I are concerned, I don't see what matters about that. Neither one of them, a sociopath or a psychopath, you're not able to help them. They need professional help on their own. We got a call from Texas. You're live on the Royal We.
Hey, Kevin. This is Russell Wolf.
Russell, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing lots better. I got put in Facebook jail for the past month. I get out in 10 days. So anyway, let everybody know on here because they've been saying, where is he?
How did you manage to end up in Facebook jail?
Oh, I needed a break anyway because I'd gotten too wrapped up in some posts about, these elderly veterans being attacked. And I said something I shouldn't have. I mean, I wish they'd all carry a gun and,
So you got, I got a little political there. Well, to be honest with you, I get that. I'm not even on Facebook anymore. I've gotten off Facebook. I know there's a Facebook group. Thank you guys. I would love to visit the Facebook group at some point. And but personally, my personal Facebook, I have retracted and stepped back from that just because I saw a lot of that stuff taking place. Yeah. It's become like a little it's an online war zone, it looks like.
I needed a break, and I thought, you know what? I'm planning on making a new account that I just have truly empathic people and that I care about, and that's it. And,
right.
I'm going to start leaving it alone. But anyway, I've been enjoying going out with, walks with my dog, and we have a beautiful state park close by, and just being at peace. I did go visit my parents again this last weekend, my hometown in Midland. And it's weird. I haven't heard a word from my brother when he nuts about me joining the Royal We. And I shared those videos with him, and
yeah.
And then also, it always never fails. They always seem to contact me right before. I guess I told my dad, and he let them know that I was coming. And all of a sudden, he goes, "Oh, I just wanted to call out of the blue, And I told him, "Well, we're going to be there." I didn't be there on the booth for him the last time, or I went there the last time to visit people that I really wanted to see instead of being capsized by them and their negativity and crap. Yeah. And anyway, so we're going to be here Friday. That we're going on the trip. I said okay, and so it was so funny that Friday we went over there. We got to see my nephew died last year, his son, but he left behind his girlfriend that he was going to marry, had a baby. I got to see her and the baby, and it's weird how they just kind of block that. Everything they're in control of, but I did it anyway, and it was fun. But just for the smallest little moves, I went to get on the floor to be with her, and stuff, and she goes and tries to grab her up. I said, "Look, I just got over here to get on the floor," and I made her put her back down. I sort of put her on the spot, and then my brother started bringing out all these pictures of my family and saying how wonderful they were and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, really? It was just a little show with a golden child, And And but what's really bad is things are falling apart around them, And my brother looks horrible, and he's not a totally, like you said. I mean, I hope he's not totally evil. He's never been totally evil. It seems like to me turning around has brought him out even more evil. If that makes sense, it's weird.
He's becoming worse. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's like,
well, yeah,
it's like he's losing.
Sure,
and I'm really worried. They really haven't. My niece, I'm really worried, is fixing to really become a scapegoat, and I really feel like I just want to save her, but she's so stuck into all this. I just, I really do worry sometimes about her position in this hierarchy, and because she's sort of in a place that it would be easy for that to happen.
Right.
And I got with her before I left, though, and I explained to her about some things and shed some light that I think really light bulb to her. I let God bless it, and and I feel like He did.
Yeah.
Now, people always go back and tell them certain things, and I'm sure I'll get basically in trouble for even bringing this up to her, but I'm ready for it. I really don't care, and I think they know that.
Yeah. Well, listen,
I'm not really.
I think, Russell, this is because this is a difficult thing, and I understand that. However, I would say that any involvement with this family, it doesn't matter if you're trying to save people in it or whatnot, is going to just keep you yourself stuck. All right, and this is what you have to be careful with. Okay, it's you don't need to be running into their battlefield trying to save people and run back out. All right, you're gonna get sniped, especially when you're dealing with a family like that. Okay.
Yeah.
This is really an issue where you need to stand back, find your own life, lead and guide your own family, right? Your mom and dad doesn't count, not your family anymore. Brother doesn't count, not your family anymore, right? Especially when it's toxic, especially when all this stuff, and it sounds to me like you're still trying to share while I'm watching the videos, watching this royal we. Listen, they're not interested.
No, I'm not. No, we're past that. No, he wouldn't even. I'm not even. I wouldn't be allowed to mention it. I wouldn't. If I did, he would stick his. He would actually take the point. He would get too much pleasure in acting out. So I don't give him that.
Yeah.
I've kept. It's easy to make him act nice because he always wants to lure you back in more than anything. And but even that's not how. It's like. I mean, they always just talk about, instead of attacking me personally, would say no. I would say, whoa, we're right there, stop. They attack people I know, and I've actually let that happen. I mean, why? I don't know. And that's just a boundary I realized this time that I've always allowed to cross because I had my own low self-esteem.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, anyway. But you're right. I mean, I don't need to be around it, and I do need to build my own life. And really, yeah, I am. I've really stepped up. I'm a world different from December when I first reached out to you.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Is getting way up there, not where it should be, but it's way up there. And I got to drive to live it to feel good again and grab all that's been lost in 50 years.
Right.
Through local, and having this horrible view of myself.
Yeah. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part about being involved with these people, with narcissists, is you're going to come out every time feeling horrible about yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you can't help but feel like the rejection has something to do with you. The hatred has something to do with you. This is like I was sharing with Monique, earlier. The dangerous part is she asked the question. They hated from the get-go. It doesn't make sense. Well, the reality is you have to understand that that's how they are, because if you don't, what you do is you take on the burden of, well, then I must have really messed up and done something wrong to get them to hate me and to be so mean to me. And the reality is no, you don't, right? And it doesn't matter, even with parents and even with siblings. You did not do anything wrong as a child. You didn't do anything wrong as a young man growing up. The hatred was there from the get-go. And obviously when we say hatred, there's different level. I'm using that as an umbrella term, but whatever that looks like, you became a stumbling block in their life more than a joy. And this is how narcissists deal with everybody. Even the golden child is a fake relationship. And the only reason that exists, the golden child exists, is because the golden child is there to affirm the parents in their negativity, in their hatred. The golden child takes on that, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Yeah, no, I hate people too. And real sad. Real sad.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like my brother. He's able to manipulate as good as my mother was.
Yeah.
In a covert way. I mean, I know that's exactly why he was the favorite, and my sister is too. And she's very insulting.
Yeah.
Very insulting to everybody she gets with.
Yeah.
But
so you're better off. You're better off without that.
Yeah. But my oldest brother, who always seemed like the evilest, worst of all, I'm realizing now he might have been really a very empathic person that was just crushed.
Could
because my mother said that she hated him from birth to me before she died. I didn't know what to do with that. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
How? Mm-hmm. I'm just like, how can you even think like that?
Right.
But she did. She actually told me that. I'm like, it kills me because I wonder how messed up he is just because of this.
Yeah. Right.
And I think my partner got to him more, even though, he hated my guts because she actually pretended to like, it's always a tool of rejection. Oh my gosh. Using people against people is just their game,
right.
Especially when it's a sibling.
Yeah.
And, it was, but it's a sad situation with them. And I just, it's sad we're in a world full of it. I mean, you can try to run from it, but you're going to encounter it.
You are. It's not about eradicating it. It's about having healthy boundaries in place so you know how to not allow it in your life, not be affected by it. Right. And that's what we're here for. That's why the Royal We Live is such an important thing. We're here. I'd be here every night if I could with you guys. And that's the goal, is to get 300 Patreons so we can be here every single night, because it's a good reminder on a nightly basis. How are you? How are you doing? Who's knocking on your door? What's the relationship dynamic like? Are they healthy? Are they not healthy? Do they have a healthy prefrontal cortex? Are they users, abusers? Right? There's important things to try and figure out when you're trying to figure out who to hang out with and spend your time with, right? Otherwise, you waste your time throwing your pearls before swine. And we don't want to be doing that. So, Russell, thank you so much for calling.
I can say that I am so far away from knowing exactly if somebody is or isn't. You know what I mean? That I don't know closely, intimately, or whatever. But right now, I'm just enjoying so much of enjoying time alone. Even with the pup at the park or whatever,
right? And
just feeling nature and feeling, and doing good, and just enjoying the empathic side that I've never grown. So
good. Well, thank you, Russell. I appreciate your telephone call.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for all you do, and I'm proud to be a patron. And if something happens, I can help out more. You can guarantee I'll be there to help out more.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, you have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
All right, we'll take one more telephone call and wrap this up for the night, guys. And thank you so much for hanging on and for being troopers. Again, the Royal We Live is brought to you by your Patreon support. And so thank you so much for all the Patreons. And the goal is to be able to get up to 300 Patreons so that we can do this every single night and be able to have a safe place for people to go to get their questions answered, to have a community, to have that supportive outreach, to have a family that understands and knows and has wisdom and knowledge and experience in navigating these relationships, whether it's parents, family, but a new love interest, right? There's no reason for you to go out there and do this alone, or to be misguided, or to fall for the same old tricks pulled by the same old narcissist. Listen, as we are speaking right now, doing the Royal We Live, there are YouTube videos being posted on how to, what's it called? Not speed dating, but I don't know, how to hunt, date, I guess. What do they call it? It's real derogatory. These people that make these videos teaching guys how to pick up artists. There's videos right now being created about how to pick up artists. We're going to teach you how to pick up that person and get what you need right away. What a cowardly venture that is, right? I'm going to learn how to become a pickup artist so I can use a person right away. It's ridiculous. And what's even more sad is that in this world, there's also women who also teach these same things. There's women who make the videos too. I'm Sally, and I'm going to teach you how to be a pickup artist, and I'm going to tell you what women want to hear so that you can get what you want on the first date. Sick, right? So as long as this stuff exists, we need a counterbalance to that. And the Royal We, and there's other channels that are here to be the counterbalance. We want to be here every night. And if I could be here every night with you, talking with you, so when Mr. Pickup Artist or Mrs. Pickup Artist, because listen, there's women out there doing the same thing. Don't you think for a minute that it's just men. There are women who know how to dress themselves, behave themselves, and do whatever they can do to try to attract and lure and seduce this particular guy that they don't care for, they don't love, but they want something, right, from him. So it's on both sides, on all sides, guys. But this is for that. The Royal We is for that. There's no need to be out there alone trying to battle this and figure it out and on your own. We're here. We have the community. We have the tools. We have the resources. And together we can create this movement that stops all that nonsense, pickup artists and using people. And it's going to exist, but the more people you can be a part of their life and awakening them up to this, then the better off, right? And so thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your support on Patreon. And yeah, there's no other callers. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much. Knowledge is power. My ex knew how to pick up, but not physical attraction for sure. All right. I need to call at some point. Gary, thank you so much for being here tonight. You are, we're live every Monday night right now, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Hi, Julianne. It's good to see you. I know a number of females narcissists. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's on both sides. It really is. I actually saw an ad on YouTube. Someone out there, I don't know, made some kind of a course and said, and you've probably seen the ad if you watch videos on narcissistic abuse. The ad said, if you've experienced narcissists, whatever, click the link down below and there's a book for you. And my name's so-and-so, and I'm going to help you through. Anyways, you get to it. And it said something to the extent of narcissists is all men and something like that. And I'm like, what? This is garbage. Garbage. It's not true. Anyways, last call from Texas. You're live on the Royal We. Hello, Texas. Goodbye, Texas. All right, Texas is out. That's okay. Next time, and we will go ahead and put the music on per the request of D-Doll. If I can get it to play. Here we go. Music's going, guys. Yep. Do. Ton. Yep. Let. Do. All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Royal We. We'll be back here Monday night. Like we said, for those of you guys who are new to the Royal We, like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to do that. Also, one more time, Shout out to the moderators. Taylor, putting the dream in the hashtag Dream Team. Thank you so much for being here again. Blue is here to link you up. Blue, thank you for all the links that you provide for everybody and all the help that you direct people to. It's greatly needed. Tanya, thank you for giving out the best virtual hugs on the internet. And D-Doll, thank you for being the queen of the one-liners. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. The Royal We is because of you guys. And so thank you so much. Join us next Monday, the Royal We Live, Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to like and subscribe. Also, visit the Patreon page. Consider becoming a sponsor of the Royal We Live by contributing on Patreon. The goal is to get 300 Patreons, and we will do the Royal We Live every single night. That's really the goal. That's where I would like to be. That's where my heart is. That's where a lot of our hearts are here. So let's make that happen. All right? And we won't stop now. And we're not going to quit. Just getting warmed up. You haven't seen nothing yet. Yeah, no. Not going to happen. Nope. Not going to quit. We're going to tear the roof down. Promise, you haven't seen nothing yet. And I am going to make a music video one of these days to that song. And I also found another song that I made back in 2012. And the song technically sounds not that great, but the words are perfect for what's going on right now. And I was amazed when I listened to it, going, wow. It's back when I was dealing with the pain. But, yeah. Here we go. I want to thank you guys again for being here. I just don't even want to let you guys go. I just want to stay here with you all night. We'll pull an all-nighter. We'll camp out. Who wants to, let's have a camp out? Have some hot dogs or something. You know what I mean? Beef it up. Yes, it needs more stuff. Yes, I know. All right. Much love to you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great night. Have a great rest of the week. You guys, don't hesitate to call and reach out to one another. The Facebook group, visit the Facebook group and talk to Tanya. Talk to the others on Facebook. They're here for support. Ask questions. You're welcome to contact me. Make comments on the videos. Whatever you need to do in a moment where you need help, right? If you're struggling, use the resources that are available. I promise you, it works. It works, okay? Use the resources here available rather than trying to battle it out in your mind and reaching out to the narcissist. Visit us first. Reach out here first, okay? All right. Thank you. And that's right. Email address, Join the Royal We. Instagram, @Join the Royal We. All kinds of ways to get connected. All kinds of ways to get connected. There's no reason for you to feel like you can't get connected. All right? All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and we will definitely see you next Monday night right here on the Royal We Live.